Mark Leach, and we'll now move on to the next candidate to make her speech, which will be Sophie Reyes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sophie, and I'm a third year studying law. I am standing in this position because I believe I am the best person for the job. I have been heavily involved in Kent Union since my first week of uni, and I have 2 years presidential experience. I believe I have the passion and knowledge to carry on the great work our Students' Union does, whilst improving its democratic structures and making it an all-round more visible, accessible, and most importantly, representative union. From my experience over the last 2.5 years, I have noticed that the biggest flaw in our union is the lack of representation. We are a very diverse student body, spread over a number of campuses. Every one of those students and student groups needs to be represented, not just the majority. Effective representation is essential to the functioning of the Students' Union and the decisions it makes. If elected, I would ensure that students know who their president is, where to find them, why that person is there, and what that person can do for them. Furthermore, as their president, I would make sure that I have daily contact with as many different students and student groups as possible to ensure that I know my students, know their opinions, their wants and their needs. In order to be a democratic and transparent union and to return ownership of the union to its students, all decisions taken should be published, explained and opened to the students. This is something I would strive to always ensure happens. This guarantees that students are fairly and accurately represented and have the opportunity to have their say and share their knowledge and expertise. Minority groups need to be represented far more effectively than they are now. If elected, I would make sure that part-time officers such as the Women's Officer, Ethnic Minorities Officer and LGBT Officer get better resources and have more tangible daily contact with their students in order to perform their roles as representative officers to the best of their abilities. I would seek to create liberation groups which are the most proven and effective ways... God, I have loads more to say. Basically, the other thing I was going to talk about was that we need to be more educated about our Students' Union. I don't have time to say that. Please look at my manifesto and please vote Sophie.
That candidate's name once again is Sophie Reyes, and now we move on to the final candidate for the position of President, which is Mish Canby.
Forgive me, I'm a bit quick in it. Basically, I think I am the best for Student Union President because, first of all, I am the standard student. I go out to the venue. I try to study when I can be bothered. I run a society as well. I'm a postgrad. I've done my undergrad here. There's so many. I can represent ethnic minorities. I can represent standard British students. I can represent practically in every different group there is on society, on campus. Basically, the reason I'm going for this is not for any political platform. It's not about my CV. It's not, and I'm sure you will know, it's definitely not about money either. The main thing is, it's all about the stuff that I've actually spent the last 3 years moaning about. It's the stuff that students have told me what they don't like. I'm going to just ask you, why is it? Yes, they provide halal meat in some places on campus. Why is it you can't get it on every single outlet on campus? Why is it you can't get kosher meat? Vegetarian choice. I'm a vegetarian, but I choose to actually cook my own food because I really cannot do an origins fajita every single day. Yeah, it's stuff like that. It's stuff that standard students want. How many of you actually study during the daytime? Most of you is evening. Yeah, by the time I start thinking about studying, 9 o'clock. By the time I start typing on my computer, 11 o'clock, library closes at 10. What's all that about? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah? I'm not going to use all big words. I'm going to talk to you how I'll talk to a normal person. Yeah, because that's what Student Union presidents should be. They should be accessible. They should be able to, students should be able to come up to them, talk to them as if they're a normal person, not as if they're a politician. So, if you want all these things to happen, please vote Nimesh, the #1 for president.